Have you ever noticed how the smallest thing can flip your entire day? Not a promotion, not money, not some huge life win. I'm talking about that moment when you help someone and, for no clear reason, your chest feels lighter. Your thoughts slow down. The stress that was sitting on your shoulders all morning suddenly loses weight. And it doesn't last, so you brush it off. You tell yourself it was just a nice moment and go right back to chasing the things you've been told are supposed to make you happy. More success, more control, more for yourself. But what if that quick, quiet shift you felt was actually the real signal? What if your brain has been trying to show you a faster way to feel better this whole time, and you've been trained to ignore it? Stay with this, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why being kind doesn't just feel good. It literally rewires how happiness works in your life. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Think about how most days actually go. You wake up and the first thing you do is check your phone. Messages, email updates, maybe something stressful before you've even had a drink of water. You go through your routine, work, school, errands, and everything feels like a transaction. You give time, you get results. You put in effort, you expect something back. And somewhere in between, there's this low, constant feeling. Not dramatic, just feeling off. You try to fix it the usual way. Scroll longer with your phone, watch something, maybe buy something. Distract yourself just enough to not sit with it. Yes, it works, but temporarily. Then it fades again, and you're right back where you started. Now compare that to something you didn't plan. You let someone merge into your lane in heavy traffic, and instead of the usual rush, they give that quick, almost surprised wave. And for a second, the road doesn't feel as hostile. You're about to leave work, then notice someone still struggling with something simple but frustrating. You stay 5 extra minutes, help them fix it, and you can literally see the tension drop from their shoulders. You compliment something specific, someone's effort, not just their result. And they react like it landed deeper than a casual, "good job." You wait an extra few seconds to hold the elevator, even though you're in a rush, and the person who steps in is out of breath, but genuinely grateful. You decide not to interrupt someone who's struggling to explain something, even though you already understand it, and you let them finish. Nothing about your life situation changed. Your problems didn't disappear, but every single one of them changes how a moment feels. For them, and quietly, for you too. That's not random. Researchers at the National Institutes of Health have found that when you do something for someone else, your brain activates the same reward systems tied to pleasure and motivation. The same circuits that light up when you experience something you enjoy. So that shift you felt, that wasn't just emotion. That was your brain paying you. And here's where most people get it wrong. You've probably been told, directly or indirectly, that happiness comes after you fix your life. Get stable, get successful, get everything in order first. Then you can relax. Then you can be generous. Then you can give. But long-term research from Harvard University, one of the longest studies on human well-being ever conducted, keeps showing something else entirely. The people who end up happiest are not the ones who got the most. They're the ones who built the strongest connections. And kindness is one of the fastest ways to build that. Think about the people you actually trust, not the most impressive ones, not the ones with the loudest personalities, the ones who made you feel like you mattered, the ones who showed up without keeping score, the ones who did something for you when they didn't have to. That's what your brain remembers, because that's what your brain is built for. When you act with kindness, your brain releases dopamine, which reinforces behavior, and oxytocin, which strengthens social bonds. Over time, this creates a loop. You help someone, you feel better, your brain nudges you to do it again. That loop doesn't just improve moments, it changes your baseline. Now flip it. Think about a time when you were stuck in your own head, overthinking everything, replaying conversations, stress stacking on top of stress. You're focused entirely on your own problems, trying to solve everything at once. And the more you stay there, the heavier it gets. That's not a personality flaw. That's a closed loop. Your brain is cycling the same inputs with no interruption. Kindness interrupts that. It forces your attention outward. It breaks the loop. It gives your brain a different signal to process. Instead of, "What's wrong with me?" it shifts to, "What can I do right now that helps someone else?" And that shift alone changes how you feel. There's a study published in Psychological Science where people who performed acts of kindness reported higher increases in happiness compared to those who only focused on themselves. And here's the part that surprises most people. It doesn't have to be big. Your brain doesn't require a grand gesture to trigger this effect. Small actions still count. A message, a compliment, giving someone your attention when it would have been easier to ignore them. You've experienced this, that moment when someone remembered something small about you, or checked on you without being asked, or helped you when they didn't have to. You remember it, not because it was big, because it was real. Now here's something even deeper. Kindness doesn't just affect the person receiving it, it spreads. Studies on social behavior have shown that when someone experiences a positive action, they're more likely to pass it on, even to people who had nothing to do with the original moment. So one small act doesn't stop with one person. It moves. And eventually, it circles back into the kind of environment you live in. Which means you're not just changing a moment, you're shaping the system around you. Pause for a second. Think about your circle, your friends, your coworkers, your family. Some of them are carrying things you can't see just by looking. The stress they don't talk about, the pressure they've learned to hide, the thoughts they keep to themselves because they don't want to be a burden. They still show up, they still smile, they still act like everything's fine. But it isn't always. And sometimes what shifts their entire day isn't something big or dramatic. It's something small. A moment you almost let pass without noticing. Now here's where it becomes practical. Kindness is not just about being good. It's about understanding how your brain works. At the Mayo Clinic, research has linked prosocial behavior to lower stress levels and better overall health outcomes. The exact pathways are still being studied, but the pattern is consistent. People who engage in these behaviors don't just feel better, they handle life better. If you've ever felt stuck, restless, or like something is missing even when things look fine on the outside, you're not broken. You're just caught in a loop your brain was never meant to sit in all day. And the way out isn't always adding more goals, more pressure, more noise. Sometimes it's just a shift we needed. Where do you want your attention to go? And what you decide to do with it next. Because happiness, based on everything we've looked at, isn't something you store up and keep forever. It's something your brain rebuilds based on what you do repeatedly. And kindness increases the chances of that happening every single day. So here's something to actually try. Not later, not when things calm down. Today, do one thing you normally wouldn't. Text your mom or dad first instead of waiting for them to reach out. Sit with a family member a little longer instead of going straight to your phone. Check on that one friend who's been quiet lately. Help someone out. Give your time, even if it's just a few minutes. And pay attention, not just to what happens around you, but to what happens inside you after. Because that feeling you've been chasing in bigger ways might have been showing up in smaller ones all along. If this connected with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who's been feeling stuck lately. Subscribe if you want more of these, real explanations for things you felt but couldn't put into words. Before you scroll away, can I ask you something simple? I built this channel for one simple goal, to bring a little more kindness back into a world that's been missing it. So here's the only thing I'm asking from you. Within the next 24 hours, do one small act of kindness for someone who isn't expecting it. Then pause for a second after. Notice what happens inside you, how your chest feels, how your thoughts slow down, how something small just shifted. That's the part most people ignore. Come back here and comment "done" and tell me what you felt after. And if someone popped into your head while watching this, send it to them. No explanation, just send it. Because what they do next after watching this might not just change their entire day, it can carry forward, reaching someone else in ways you'll never see. I'll see you in our next video. Thank you.